The most shocking weather flip in decades just happened overnight, and millions of Americans have no idea what's coming next. It's Saturday, February 7th, 2026, and what I'm witnessing right now defies everything we thought we knew about winter weather patterns. While one half of America faces life-threatening Arctic conditions, with temperatures plunging 30 degrees below zero, the other half is about to experience something that sounds impossible. A February heat wave with temperatures soaring 40 degrees above normal. This isn't just unusual weather. This is a complete atmospheric revolution happening in real time across our continent. The jet stream has essentially snapped in half, creating two entirely different climate zones within the same country. And the consequences of this split are about to reshape the remainder of winter in ways that will leave meteorologists speechless. Let me paint the picture of what's unfolding right now. Wind chills are plunging to 30 below zero in New England. We're talking about 10 to 20 degrees below zero in Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia. Some of the coldest air we've seen so far this year. Tonight and tomorrow morning will bring even more brutal conditions, with surface temperatures dipping below zero without even factoring in the wind chill. These strong winds aren't just making things feel colder, they're creating genuinely life-threatening conditions, with wind chills reaching 20 to 30 degrees below zero. Sunday could actually deliver record low temperatures in the mid-Atlantic region, with highs running 20 to 30 degrees below normal across vast areas. But here's where this story takes an absolutely incredible turn. Do you see that massive surge of warm colors building across the middle of the country? That represents one of the most dramatic pattern flips I've ever witnessed in real-time forecasting. Those greens and purples covering the East Coast show how dramatically below normal our temperatures have been. In some cases, 20 to 30 degrees below average over the past couple of days. But look what's happening out west. Those reds and oranges aren't just above average. They represent temperatures so extreme they'll feel like a summer heat wave in the middle of February. Places like Topeka, Kansas could see temperatures up to 42 degrees above average over the next couple of days. We're talking about cities like Des Moines reaching 70 degrees on Monday, when the average high this time of year sits at 32 degrees. That's nearly double the normal temperature, creating a surreal contrast that challenges everything we understand about seasonal weather patterns. This represents a rare winter pattern that we expect to continue for an extended period. The latest Climate Prediction Center outlook paints the vast majority of the lower 48 states under above normal temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days. Much above normal conditions stretch from Dallas and Houston all the way up to Sioux Falls and Minneapolis. But there's something fascinating happening along the western edge. We're starting to see below-average temperatures work into the West Coast, and this shift is going to continue moving eastward. That boundary, that invisible line where these opposing air masses meet, is setting the stage for something meteorologists live for: active storm development. We're entering an increased period of stormy weather as we head toward Valentine's Day and the end of February. Multiple chances for both snow and severe weather are building into the forecast, creating a setup that could deliver some of the most significant weather events of the entire winter season. Let me walk you through the pattern evolution that's about to unfold across the country. That cold air is hanging on for dear life across the north and east through Sunday. It's going to remain brutally cold in those areas. But notice the ridge building across the west and central United States, representing warm air propagating over the Rockies into the plains, extending through the upper Midwest and into every river valley from the Mississippi to the Tennessee. This is what we're going to look back on and call the Great Thaw of 2026. Every valley across the middle of the country is going to experience this incredible warm-up, and millions of Americans are going to love the relief from weeks of bitter cold. But this dramatic warming comes with a significant price. All this warm, unstable air is going to clash violently with the natural cold air of winter that's trying to maintain its grip on northern areas. This collision creates the perfect recipe for multiple rounds of severe weather, heavy rain, flash flooding, and significant snow events over the coming weeks. We already have signals for isolated showers stretching from Dallas all the way up to Nashville by Wednesday, February 11th. But notice how the frequency of these precipitation chances increases as we move forward in time. This escalation pattern is what's capturing my attention as a forecaster. The most significant signal appears right around Valentine's Day. Saturday, February 14th, shows a major low-pressure system sweeping over the Rockies, forming up over the plains and potentially creating severe weather problems across the southeast while generating heavy snow conditions across northern areas. This represents a classic late winter into spring pattern that demands close monitoring. This is a substantial storm signal developing almost 170 hours into the future. While anything beyond this time frame becomes increasingly unreliable in terms of specific details, the overall pattern signal remains strong and consistent across multiple forecast models. The broader pattern shows persistent atmospheric rivers beginning to impact the West Coast. The next major system looks to arrive around Valentine's Day, slamming California and the Pacific Northwest with heavy rain and significant mountain snow. That energy will then carry over the Rockies and interact with the warm air mass building across the central states. We're looking at persistent upper-level disturbances moving across the country like bowling balls, each one interacting with the warm air trying to build and the natural cold air attempting to maintain its seasonal presence. This setup guarantees multiple rounds of severe weather, heavy rainfall, flash flooding concerns, and snow events extending well into February. The pattern continues, showing active weather through the remainder of February. Some guidance even suggests we could lock back into a deep cold pattern by month's end, though forecast confidence becomes extremely low at those extended ranges. What we're examining at these long ranges are atmospheric signals and potential ideas for how the pattern might evolve. The key takeaway is that we're transitioning out of the locked pattern we've experienced for weeks, and that transition period typically brings increased weather activity across the country. For those hoping for continued warm temperatures, the extended outlook provides encouraging news. Looking 8 to 14 days ahead, above-average temperatures persist across the vast majority of the lower 48 states, especially east of the Rocky Mountains. Even areas like Santa Fe, Denver, and portions of Wyoming and Montana maintain above-normal conditions through the next 2 weeks. Below-average temperatures do expand somewhat across the West Coast, but the overall warm signal remains dominant. Even extending to the 3 to 4 week outlook, above-average temperatures persist across the southern tier from Miami to Phoenix, from Denver to Columbus, from Raleigh to Oklahoma City. We're looking at a prolonged thawing period that could last for the foreseeable future. This dramatic pattern flip represents more than just a temporary weather change. It's a complete atmospheric reorganization that's creating 2 different climate zones within the same continent. The implications extend far beyond just comfortable temperatures. We're talking about fundamentally different weather regimes occupying the same country simultaneously. The upcoming Super Bowl provides an interesting weather footnote to this pattern. Conditions look relatively boring from a meteorological standpoint, with highs near 67 degrees and only a slight chance of showers from a Pacific system moving through. Nothing that should significantly impact outdoor activities or game conditions. But the bigger story remains this unprecedented pattern flip that's reshaping American weather. We're witnessing atmospheric dynamics that occur maybe once or twice in a meteorologist's career, and the ramifications will influence weather patterns for weeks or potentially months to come. The contrast between record-breaking cold in some areas and near-record warmth in others creates an unstable atmospheric environment that virtually guarantees significant weather events ahead. When you have temperature gradients this extreme across relatively short distances, the atmosphere responds by generating storms, severe weather, and rapid changes that keep forecasters constantly analyzing new data. This is the kind of weather pattern that makes forecasting both incredibly challenging and absolutely fascinating. We're watching nature perform one of its most dramatic demonstrations of power, splitting a continent into different seasons and setting the stage for weather events that people will remember for years to come. The Great Thaw of 2026 is just beginning, but its consequences will ripple through the remainder of winter and possibly into early spring. Buckle up. We're in for an atmospheric ride unlike anything we've experienced in recent memory.